hijack Shinra Express, Mark 93-2. The train is currently headed to Midgard, Sector 8. Operative is ready for insertion.
The train has been overrun by Wu-Tai troops. Eliminate them and regain control of the train.
Oh yeah!
Get serious.
Hello everyone, welcome to a special TechRaptor Impressions video. I'm Christian, social lead here at TechRaptor. Joining me for another sit-down debrief for a game that you'll be playing very soon. Andrew Stretch, how are you doing?
Really, really well. Thank you very much.
And today we have a very special discussion. I'll lead off the top. A review copy provided by Square Enix. It's flashing on the screen right now.
Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
Okay.
I've had to triple check myself on that 3 times while writing down stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, for those that aren't familiar, Crisis Core, what's the history there?
That's the 2007 PSP only prequel story. It's the story of Zack Fair, his rising up the ranks, and what happened with the Shinra Corporation and with the soldier units surrounding 3 of the other first-class soldiers.
It sounds like you are well familiar with the original release and the compendium of FF7 as a whole.
Played through all of the remake. I've played Crisis Core on multiple occasions. I've even played Dirge of Cerberus, which is the black sheep of the compendium.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I've enjoyed the movies and animated content and stuff surrounding it.
Big fan of the direction they've gone with the remake, and Crisis Core is something that's always been something I want to get to. So I guess starting from what you've experienced so far, because you're only a couple chapters in, does it feel like it's going in line with the 7 remake style of a video game reinterpretation, or does it feel in line with the original?
So far, nothing is different. It definitely, it gives the feel that this is just a remastering akin to, when Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep got pulled up from PSP onto consoles. The game looks better. There's a bunch of quality of life improvements, but the story so far has remained exactly the same. Whether that will change, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, it seems pretty faithful.
That's good to hear for me. Like I said, I have zero experience. I was very young when this game originally released. I think I was 10. So I was not in... I know, sorry. I was still in my introduction to Final Fantasy was Kingdom Hearts. So I wasn't really messing with that franchise. So this is a game that's eluded me forever. And now seeing how heavily the story of Crisis Core, from what I know of it, and Zack as a character are going to be influencing the future of the remake brand, this is coming at a great time. And I'm sure this is the reason Square Enix is pursuing this remaster. The way they've been framing it, there was a trailer very recently that got some discussion going back and forth. I think it was called title of the game, More Than a Remaster. And that got people saying they're messing with story, but it looks like it's mostly gameplay tweaks that are making it more than a remaster. So are you finding them well adjusted for modern day gameplay wise?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so much nicer. There were limitations on the original system, such as no second control stick, or that you only had the single shoulder buttons. So they've done a lot to expand what you can and cannot do. Even the way that you attacked used to be, you would have a little bar in the bottom right of your screen on the PSP that you would need to cycle through all of your possible things. This would include your attacks, your special attacks, and magic would all be based on what materia you have equipped. They've now shortcutted all of that. They have a dedicated combat button to swing your sword. This has greatly improved combat flow, combat versatility. The idea, I've been playing and have been mapping, anytime I have a new Blizzard command, I'll make sure that that's on square, fire's on triangle, and electricity is on circle. That's allowed me in combat with a couple of different enemies. It's just that much faster. Going through the mission system and the world, it still feels very closed down, very PSP-like. You can walk through the map, open up in a somewhat circular manner, and you're like, okay, combat's gonna trigger. And it's not quite random combat, but you will drop into a combat screen, fight the enemies, and then hop back out of that kind of feel.
Again, coming from the perspective of somebody who hasn't played the original Crisis Core, but is heavily experienced with Remake and some of the other Final Fantasies lately, Combat wise, what are we looking at? Is this inspired by ATB? Is it a different take on it? Is it more actiony than
It's
turn based?
it's definitely more actiony. It is more akin to something like Kingdom Hearts. You just have like the combat initiate, but then within that you have freeform movement. You've got your spells, your special attacks that you can do that are that all use up MP or AP. But aside from that, it's really just open action combat.
So, for somebody who got on board with 7 Remake, for instance, do you think the progression of playing 7 Remake, be it on PS4 or with integrate on PS5 or PC even, picking this up, is this intuitive enough that you feel the changes are making it a smoother transition?
Yeah, and I mean, and that's exactly where their reassessment and shifting of including shortcuts and stuff. It feels the combat feels up to date. The combat was never bad. It was unique, but it was good. A lot of people really love the original. I really love the original. This just makes it better. Makes it more akin to today's kind of controller layout.
Story wise, I know they also brought in new voice acting, right, from some of the more
Mhm.
recent casts. How are you enjoying that compared to the original cast?
Having it fully voiced has been great. It's definitely made the story more engaging. For anyone who's played the original, you'll know that they just like hard drop you into some big ideas. It can be a little bit confusing to start off with. You've definitely got to put some time in to start to understand what is going on with the world. The voice acting does a really good job to convey all of that and the importance of it. There is a slight difference in what you're seeing and what you're hearing, especially in the kind of in-engine portions of cutscenes, that you might have a character standing there completely stoic, just slightly performing lip flaps. The voice actor is high energy, lots of intonation. You can tell that they're kind of moving, but because all they had to start off with is just this stock standing animation,
Hmm.
it does seem a bit weird. Like someone sounding really excited while completely like looking stern. Like you're expecting a smile, but you don't get it.
Are there any other standout elements from your time in the game so far that you think would be appealing to newer fans? Because I'm sure the longtime fans have their opinion already based off of what they've seen.
Mhm.
But if somebody wanted to get more out of 7, they don't feel like replaying Intergrade, and Rebirth is maybe a year or more away still, is this a good next chapter, even if there's no changes, you think?
I definitely think so. I think that the timing of this is such a good release to not just have, something else to keep people thinking about the universe of Final Fantasy VII, but especially with what they're doing with the timeline and how they're shifting it. I think that giving players a chance to replay Crisis Core, to refamiliarize themselves with everything that Zach has done and has led up to, it will refresh that original story so that brief spoilers for the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is already a couple years old at this point, but the ending cutscenes seem to indicate that Zack did not die as he normally does, which is a weird sentence to say. Um, so it'll be interesting to see, when I get to the end, if there is some change just at the very end to indicate that shift,
Mhm.
or whether it's just going to be a good refresher, a good primer, so that when part two comes out, you can say, okay, like what's different, what has
Mhm.
changed.
And I think that's been my biggest question, right? Because I want to be as understanding as I can be for every change and improvement and tweak and nuance in this new timeline. Part of that involves knowing the original story. So hearing what they're doing so far has me excited. I'm definitely going to pick it up when it comes out.
It's fantastic that they have taken what is one of the best Final Fantasy games, I would say, and saved it from the PlayStation Portable. And I kind of think with this release, people who might still be keeping their PSP around might finally have a reason to put it on a shelf somewhere. Because I think that this is kind of the last big PSP thing that kind of needed to be quote unquote rescued
Sure.
from it.
Hey,
Um,
Daxter. I'm still waiting on Daxter on the PSN. We need
oh,
that.
true. Yeah, yeah. I guess Daxter is going to be Daxter or that one Ratchet and Clank game that was on there
Exactly.
for some reason.
Well, thank you for watching today for this video preview. We have a full write-up that Stretch has done that is live on TechRaptor.net currently. There's going to be a lot more. Christ, please say the title.
Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. There's also some like dashes in there, maybe a tilde. I don't know.
Semicolon. Yeah, so Stretch is going to have more coverage there on TechRaptor.net. In the meantime, you can follow us on all our socials, including TikTok. You'll see a lot of my face on there. But thank you for watching. Enjoy, very soon, the reunion.
We have neither dreams nor honor.